The biggest point that I want to make today is that sometimes in life you find yourself really like stressed out about certain situations. You find yourself thinking about the outcomes of certain situations, and all you can do is just get stressed out because you think of scenario one, two, three, four, sometimes five, six, and seven. I've done that before. And you have, some sort of deadline, a soft deadline in terms of when a something might happen that dictates the outcome, the result of an outcome. And as you're approaching that timeline, you feel like time is ticking and you're trying to do what you can to determine or create the outcome you're looking for. And you can't figure out or find that right outcome that suits you best, that works best for you. Because out of the one, two, three, four, and five outcomes that you've thought about, none of them can seem correct, or none of them seems right for you, and none of them seems good. And then the outcome actually happens. And out of those five outcomes you conceive, God ends up giving you outcome number 15 or 16, outcome number 23 or 24. And that's insane to me. And the reason why I say it's insane is because when we're in those situations, you could never, ever even think about or conceive that outcome. You step past that outcome or that situation and ask yourself, how did this happen? How did this play out this way where I'm walking away from this outcome of peace when a day ago, 2 days ago, a week ago, sometimes a month ago, I thought about today and could not imagine the day going out or playing out the way that it just played out. And so when those things happen to us, is one thing to always remember to help you out when it comes to you and your journey. And that's this specific quote here. It just goes, God is the gap between your desires and your results. And I'm actually going to give you two quotes. The first quote is, God is the gap between your desires and your results. When you're in that situation, or you're in these situations where you find yourself reaching hard, sometimes reaching as hard as you've ever reached before, and the thing you want is just outside your grasp, you take one step forward and it takes one step back. You reach out to it and it seems to slide back as if somebody has the outcome or the desire you want on a string. Just remember, God is the gap between your desires and your results. God is he that will take that desire and give it the nudge just enough to be placed in your hand. And that comes with prayer. That comes with faith. That comes with deep longing, along with having trust in God to be able to bring you those things. There was a time, and I'll give you an example here. One of the biggest examples of my life was me in basketball. You see, I have this little like tiger thing on my hat, and it's not directly correlated to the university I went to, but I like to wear it because it's like a soft correlation. But me and the school I went to, which was Auburn, and I played basketball at Auburn a long time ago, but I played 1 year, and that was a long time ago. I was 22 when I actually made the team. I had a dream of playing basketball for Auburn since I was about 14 or 15. I had a dream of being good at basketball since I was about 6 or 7. And I was trash at basketball when I was younger. Trash, terrible. I can't describe to you how bad I was, goofy, all of those things. But when I got to college, I had so many things going on around me. I was struggling with so much in college. And I always had the desire for being able to play basketball. And I had, I guess you could say, abnormal reasons for wanting to play. And for 3, 4, going on 4 years, I felt like I was very close, but just not close enough. I never gave up on that dream. I always talked to God about it. It was always on my mind. God had his way of reminding me by speaking through others, and also through others reminding me how close that I was. And these were regular students, these were athletes, all of those things, but it always seemed to be out of my reach. And I went through this one scenario where it was probably one of the worst moments of my life. And I decided to get up from that moment. I was crushed. I was defeated. My will, and it felt like my soul had been broken. And I made a decision to get back up despite there being no logical reason in my mind why I should get up. I just have to just get up. And it seemed like God just said it's time. Within weeks of me making that decision to get up, the thing that I was reaching for so hard for 3 to 4 years, all of a sudden now had just been seemingly shoved into my hand. Where it's like somebody was like, here, take it, take it, take it. I felt like I was being nudged in the direction to do the things that I was doing at that time that directly led me up to being able to play basketball for the university. In those moments, that following year when I played totally changed the course of my life. But the moment I feel like that really changed my life was when I made the decision in my worst moment to get back up. To say, God, I don't necessarily know what it is or why it is that you still place this on my heart. I don't know why it is that I still feel this sensation in my chest, in my heart, within my being to continue to push forward. My mind feels like there's no reason to push forward. At the time when I was just broken, the only thing I could technically feel it, even muster up the energy to say was it's over. But I'm still getting up because I'm making a choice to trust you. And so we get into those situations, and if God places it on our heart, it's for a reason. And so with that, it's on us to continue to move forward. Work as if it's up to us, but pray as if it's up to God. I want to say that again. Work as if it's up to us. Pray as if it's up to God. These things are mountains to us, but less than a hurdle to God. And these little hurdles exist for a reason, to get us to where we need to get to. Not for us to just have the things that we ask for, but to be able to keep the things that we ask for and understand the implications, the impact, and the meaning behind why we have the things that we have. This goes for the biggest of things and the smallest of things. And I'm going off on a tangent here and a correlation, all these different correlations and stuff, and I can do this all day. But I think just the thing that I wanted to just mention in this video, the biggest takeaway from this as I sit here in this phase of my life, in this space of my life, as a reminder to myself to share with you all as I'm going through it. God is the gap between our desires and our results. Don't ever forget that when you find yourself so close. Don't ever forget that when you feel like you're waiting on an outcome to happen. Don't ever forget that when you feel like things around you just doesn't make sense. Don't forget that when you find yourself so close, but the outcome and how you're going to take that last step doesn't make sense, or you feel like there is no way for you to take another step forward. And lastly, don't forget that when you feel like you have to take a jump, but the gap between you and that outcome, that next platform, seems to be too far or too high. Sometimes you just got to jump. And I know that's scary. I know that's frightening. I know sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I'll give you some homework, and I hate homework, but I'll give you a little task. If you are curious about that, go look at the stories of almost every single person that is insanely successful. You can name them off the top of your head right now. Somebody you think is really successful. Go and really look at their story and where they came from, and you'll see it yourself. Because they went through the same story. They went through a similar situation where they were faced with just odds that were just against them. Things seemed impossible. Things were not in their favor. And they still decided to take that jump. They still decided to take that chance. Just look at it. Just look at their story. Look at this story. But yeah, this is a very concentrated stress test in terms of this video, in terms of me starting out. I want to continue to refine this space. This may not be the perfect looking video or the perfect sounding video, but I feel like I've pushed myself enough in this space to be able to continue to go forward. And that's just kind of, I guess, what I'm going to do. So, yeah. If y'all look at this video and you like it, I don't really know the implications of subscribing and liking and things like that, but I definitely want you to express yourselves in the comments. Just so you can be able to share your story and your positives and your lessons with other people, that they may also learn from you and your situation, because that's also one of the ways that I learn, by checking positive comments of people who have managed to make it. Some of my best ideas and quotes and things like that came from just the simple phrases of other people, where they just made a candid just response